Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the CYCPLUS Cube portable bike pump. Electric air compressors have become an increasingly popular alternative to traditional manual pumps for inflating bike tires. While there are a lot of electric pumps on the market, most of them are designed for home use and aren't portable enough to bring on a ride. CYCPLUS is looking to change out with their latest Cube portable bike pump, which is an ultra-portable pump that's designed to fit in your jersey pocket. What we have here is an early look at the CYCPLUS Cube. So some of the packaging is still the early design. Obviously, they're going to have branding and specs directly on it, but most of our observations should be accurate. We'll go ahead and take this out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $79. You can currently get it for $69 with the INDIEGOGO campaign, so you get a little bit of a discount. It has an aluminum exterior case, and it can pump up to 100 psi, which is really impressive given the size. It has a 20-minute charge time, so a very fast charging USB Type-C port to quickly inflate a tire. It works on both Presta and Schrader valves as well, so you can switch between them using the provided parts. In terms of what comes with it, obviously you get the pump, which again, really tiny. You get a little silicone sleeve with it as well, which you can take off to reveal the metal case. You get the USB Type-C charging port, as well as some of the small parts to switch between Schrader and Presta. So if you want to go to Schrader, you want to install this little metal insert and the washer. Now let's take a look at the weight of the CYCPLUS pump. This is the Presta valve configuration. So this comes in at only 100 grams, so very lightweight. The CYCPLUS Cube is not only smaller than any mini pump on the market, but it's also smaller than most CO2 canisters. Even though the Cube isn't quite a cube dimensionally, it's 2.5 inches tall, 2 inches wide, and then 1 inch thick. It's still very portable, fits in the palm of your hand, and easily fits in a jersey pocket. The housing of the Cube is a metal design, so it's aluminum case, and at least with our version, it has this metallic aluminum finish. So it looks really cool with CYCPLUS kind of ghosted on here on each side, and then some basic regulatory information printed on the bottom. The power button is actually recessed, so you can see there's no risk of this auto accidentally getting turned on if it's in your pocket. You have the USB Type-C port on the other side, and this actually serves as the air inlet for the pump, so you want to make sure you don't cover that up when you're using it. That's why they've placed it on the other side. The nozzle is on the other end, and you can see very simple. To change this between Presta and Schrader, you actually have to take it apart. Unlike the Topeak Smart Heads, which just automatically work, you actually have to swap out a few of these little washers. Right now it's in the Presta configuration. If you want to do the Schrader, you actually have to flip this, and then also add the metal piece on here. So minor inconvenience, and you have to carry the extra parts, which means you want to make sure you pick the right one before you start riding. It simply twists on there, then locks into place. The other cool thing about this is it's a single power button interface. One press actually reveals a backlit color, and this is the battery status. So there's 3 levels. You have green, yellow, and red. Red indicates you're less than 50%, while green indicates you're above 80%. One of the big compromises with this design is they were able to achieve the portability by using a very small battery. So it has a 300 milliamp battery inside here. And according to CYCPLUS, that means you can inflate 4 700 by 25C tires from 0 to 60 at 60 seconds each per tire. If you want to do 80 psi, you can only do 2 tires. And if you want to do 100 psi, then you're limited to 1 tire, and 100 psi is the maximum. In today's market, with the wider and lower inflation tire settings, I think most people are good between 60 and 80. So you should definitely be able to do at least a couple tires on 1 full charge. The nice thing about the battery status indicator is you also know the battery status, so you're not in the dark. You can make sure you charge it before you go on a ride. Unfortunately, because you can only do a few tires, you want to make sure you charge this each time and ensure you're on a green setting before you start riding. Operation-wise, a single press shows the battery status, and then another press and turn it on. And you can see it's very loud, and takes, again, about 60 seconds to go from 0 to 60 psi, 80 seconds to go to 0 to 80, and then even longer to 100 psi. But I imagine most people, again, will be between that 60 to 80 mark. So nice and compact, and pretty cool design overall. Now let's take a look at the CYCPLUS in action. Here we have our Zip 2001 bike with flat tires. So we're going to try it in the Presta configuration. Now let's give it a try. You can see it's almost flat. So go ahead and insert it. Make sure you open up your valve, obviously. So you just have to do it by feel. It's about 60 seconds again for 60 psi, and then 80 seconds. And you can see I've done one, and the battery status is already a little bit lower. So you got to make sure you charge this, as you can't really do too many tires in a row. Now let's do the rear tire. Again, I have the valve open. The pump itself is fairly loud, and thanks to the multi-level battery status, you actually have a guesstimate of how much battery you have left. So go ahead and put it on and inflate. Now let's compare the CYCPLUS Cube with other pumps on the market. What we have here is the CYCPLUS A8. You can see much larger design. It has a higher battery capacity, and it's designed to be used around the house. What's cool about this is you get a nice display, a multi-button interface. It can be used as a power bank to charge other devices. Even has an LED here, so you can actually see in the dark. And again, you can set it for cars, inflatable beds, car tires, bike tires, anything really around the house. So much more large, high capacity, and great for garage use or thrown in the trunk of your car for an emergency. But you can see, obviously not well suited for riding with. It would have been nice to have the gauge, but obviously with the Cube, they've tried to maximize the portability rather than adding more functions. The CYCPLUS Cube actually reminds us of the Kokopelli feather pump. This is designed for inflatable kayaks and rafts. You can see similar compact design. The Kokopelli one's obviously a little bit lighter with just a plastic body and plastic impeller, and it's designed to fill volume rather than pressure. So this is only good to about 0.3 psi, while the CYCPLUS is good to 100 psi, but for higher pressure and shorter application use, while the Kokopelli, you can actually inflate multiple kayaks. Now, even with the Cube, you definitely want to carry a pump or at least a CO2 canister. This is a Moon Sport hand pump, and you can see pretty compact. It's not the smallest one on the market. You can get something about half the size, but it takes quite a bit of time to actually inflate. While with the Cube, you can do it in 60 to 80 seconds, depending on your pressure. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the CYCPLUS Cube. What we like about it is that it's ultra portable, fits in the palm of your hand, and can easily fit in any jersey pockets. You also have a multi-level battery status indicator, which lets you easily see the battery status for up to 3 levels. And you have fast charging USB Type-C design, which lets you charge the device all the way up in only 20 minutes. Some of the cons for it is the fact that it does lack a pressure gauge, so you really have to do it by feel, and runtime is limited to higher pressures due to the small size. You don't really have that much battery capacity. Taking everything into account would give the Cube an 8.0 out of 10. It's a really cool device. It doesn't quite replace a traditional CO2 or hand pump due to the limited runtime, but it's a great way to make inflation a lot faster, and it's really impressive how small it is. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.